Hello, Braves countries. Coach Ken Anderson Company, Hardcore Braves, and we're coming off a 2-2 recap against the New York Mets. And I know everybody's disappointed. I know Ryan, you are too. But how are you actually really doing tonight?
Um, Bittersweet. Look, it could have gone worse. We could have gone 3-1, but or 1-3. We didn't. Could have gone better. We could have been 3-1 or 4-0. It didn't. It's 2-2. It's kind of hard to win a 4 game set. Um, they didn't play exceptionally well. They played good. They played better than what they've been. So, you try to take a little bit of the positive with the negative. So I'm doing all right. How are you doing, buddy?
Doing good. I think my team loses a baseball game before, so that's everybody wants to know why I stay so measured. There's nothing happens. I mean, maybe one day a lion will run out and attack our second baseman and eat him alive on the field. Then I really have a lot to say in the game. But other than just losing a game and our closer finally blowing a save, me and Ryan's been warning you. We'll get to game three and game four in a little bit. We can tell you we're fixing to have a blown save by Rossi. He's putting way too many people on base. But let's get into it. Game one was a great start to the series. About everything could go right went right in this series. We win 5-3. And let's start with Grant Holmes took the bump on this one. And Grant, we want him in the bullpen, but because our rotation's like it is, he had to start, and he had a really good start. He went 5 innings, only one walk. That was the key, Ryan. He's been walking guys. He did not walk. He did give up 5 hits, only had 2 strikeouts. I think he gets to where he wants to strike out people sometimes, and that's what causes him to walk. This time he went after hitters, including Juan Soto, and I think he pitched pretty well. How about you?
Yeah, for Grant, it was a step in the right direction. We've been saying it far too long with him that he gets behind hitters, he walks too many guys, he's not being aggressive enough in accounts. I can't tell you how many times he got ahead of guys 0-2, 1-2, and then it's 2-2, 3-2. Oh, he walks him. Oh, he walks the next guy, and then a base hit into the gap and clears the bases. So it was nice to see Grant clean that up. I'd still prefer him to be in the bullpen just because he really only has one true out pitch, and that is his slider. And once guys kind of see that one time through the lineup, they adjust pretty well to it. And his fastball, it's good, but I don't think it's good enough in order for him to pitch through the lineup effectively most days where he's getting guys out 2 and 3 times through the lineup. Look, I would love for Grant to prove me wrong. I have not seen it yet. So I'm glad he had the start that he did, but I'd still much prefer his role being in the bullpen.
Yeah, and we'll get to something that happened on Sunday. So Grant's going to be in the rotation for a little while. We'll see how long that is. So he did well. The bullpen come in, did well. Dodd, Young, and Fuentes. Young had a tough situation. He come in and he did very well. I mean, putting him in a game like that, they were probably going to use him in a blowout. They didn't do that, but Danny threw the ball good. He may actually help us. Real quick stat on Dylan Dodd. We'll use it right here because he pitched well also on Sunday. Dylan Dodd has one of the top 5 lowest batting averages against for left-handers in the major leagues. Now, Dylan Lee's number 2. That doesn't surprise anybody. Dylan Dodd being number 5. Doesn't surprise me. I'm a big Dylan Dodd fan. How about you, Ryan? Did you know that Dylan Dodd is absolutely shoving right now?
Well, I will say this: we've been watching Dylan grow up right before our eyes, but I didn't know he was shoving it that well, and we've needed it because Dylan's biggest thing was I think he had trouble getting left-handed hitters out consistently just because his cutter and or slider at the time was just not getting it done. Well, he's refined that pitch pretty nicely, and he's getting guys out pretty routinely now. So it's been a very nice development. We've needed that solid lefty. Me and you were saying give Dylan a shot, get Bummer out of here, and Dylan's making us look pretty daggum smart right about now, Ken.
He really is. I mean, he's got a chance to be really good for us and be the other lefty to go with Mr. Lee. So feel pretty good. Dieter pitched good in this one. We'll get to a later game where he struggled, but he pitched good in this one. And then Rossiel, we keep telling y'all, he kind of got away this game because we had a late home run to give him a bigger lead. He gave up a home run in this one, and he doesn't look right. But how do we get our 5 runs? Old Brave style. Michael Harris hits a home run in the second to give us a lead. Ozzie hits a home run. Soto hits a home run and ties it. I said Grant pitched well against Soto. He did. He struck him out and gave up a home run, a solo home run. We'd probably take that against Juan every time, to be honest with you. He's just a great player. But Ozzie hits a home run. And then in the 5th, Matt hits a home run. And then in the 8th, Matt hits a 2-run another home run. So so we hit 4 home runs in the ball game, and just a really good game. Old Bray style. Ryan, the long ball, was back. We hadn't hit a home run in a long time either, by the way. So that was nice to see.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute since we've had the power sticks come out. So, and and it was the guys that you really needed it from. Ozzie hit one, Michael Harris hit one, Matt Olson hit 2. The guys that you really needed to start producing that power, that slug that we've been lacking, really did do it this game. And it's a big reason why we won the game. So it was nice to see the big boys come through and pick up the team that really desperately needs it right now.
Yeah, it's very good. When we told you on the hip coil, Mr. Scott is going to be a great pitcher. Ball comes out good. It does remind you a lot of Zach Wheeler when he throws. He's got his number. He's got the same pitch. And what did Zach have problem with when he was in New York before he went to Philadelphia? The long ball. And that's what Mr. Scott did. So we're glad they listened to the hip call. When we hit home runs, we get a win. So we go to game 2. And game 2 was an interesting game because Chris Sale takes the mound. And we got a lot to say about Chris Sale. Chris Sale is pitching about every 7 or 8 days. And when he does really well, velocity up, and his slider's a little off. And that's probably because of rust. He gets us through 5 innings, and he can't get through the 6th. But overall, 5 innings, 3 runs, all earned, 3 strikeouts, 7 hits. What do we make of Chris? I know what we're doing, and we've already went through this, making him get to the postseason. I can't wait till he starts pitching every 5th day. But this is kind of what we're going to have to expect out of Chris right now, isn't it?
Well, unfortunately, the way AA is running this daggone pitching staff into the ground, that's kind of what we got with the Braves right now. Chris Sale's going anywhere from 6 to 8 days, and it's got to stop. I understand you want to have him available for the playoffs. You got to get to the freaking playoffs first. And you realistically, you want to get one of those 2 buys, and right now you're outside of the buy round. So that means you got to burn Chris Sale into the wild card round. Me personally, Ken, I'd rather have the bye and let him rest there at the end of the season instead of look, you got him plenty of rest days in between April and May. It's time for you to let your big horse go out there and eat, because I don't know about you, Ken. I'm a little perturbed that Chris Sale only went 5 innings, and he was not Chris Sale-esque. He really struggled to put guys away. He didn't have his good stuff. He only had 3 strikeouts. Sure, he was throwing 99 miles an hour. That's cool, but you only went 5 innings. And then you're letting the bullpen have to go out there and overwork. Like, you're the dude who I need shoving it up somebody's rear end for 7 freaking innings, not going 5 and diving. You're not the 5 and dive guy. That is Grant. That is Elder. That's every other pitcher on this daggum staff. I need you going 7 innings, especially when you're getting all this extra time off. And Chris will be the first one to tell you that. I'm not saying anything that he wouldn't say. He wasn't the guy that we needed to have on the mound in game 2, to save the bullpen a few extra innings. That would have actually helped us later out in this series, as you will find out shortly. And he just didn't do it. And him not getting into the routine and being able to pitch every 5th day, it's starting to show with the rust. But he's got to be better. We need more out of Chris Sale than 5 innings, Ken, in my opinion.
Yeah, the problem is he gets into the 6th inning, he can't get any outs. I mean, that's when he blows up, and he has a tough situation. And look, he could have gave up way more than 3 innings because Dylan Lee comes in the 6th inning. And I guess he was pissed he didn't make the All-Star game. He comes in the 6th and K's 3 straight Met batters, Juan Soto included, on 10 pitches. Dylan Lee should be an all-star. We know why they don't put him on there, because he's considered a hold reliever. They don't do that. Maybe he'll get in. That was a big spot. And then J.R. Ritchie comes in and gets his feet wet. He throws 3 innings, and he also strikes out Juan Soto with the bases loaded. So two big outs right there. This game could have really changed. It wouldn't for Dylan and JR having big moments in this game.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it could have in those situations, especially right there with J.R. Ritchie. If he doesn't get those outs and Soto hits a big 3-run homer, I mean, you're looking at the score being really really close at that point. You're going to have and go in a whole different direction. But luckily, J.R. was able to pitch out of that inning and save the high leverage guys for the next couple of games. They were, I mean, besides Dylan Lee, but he was able to give Didi a day off, and he was able to give Rozelle a day off. So that was good. But the offense kind of showed up really late to blow it open, which was nice as well. But I wish they would have done it earlier in the game. Then JR could have gone like 5 innings.
It's interesting. It's interesting. If Chris gets to the sixth without even scoring, we actually score 2 runs there, and the game is 8-3. And Dylan probably doesn't even pitch the seventh. They go ahead and pitch JR, and Dylan gets a day of rest. So we're not trying to Chris. We're not saying anything to Chris. Chris doesn't know. He's got to start getting through the sixth and to the seventh inning. So how do we score? We hit homers again. Eli White hits a home run. He owns Sean Manaea. He owns the Mets. So Eli hits a home run, and congratulations to Eli. He is going to be a daddy. Tip of the cap. Big home run by Eli. He had a big series anyhow. We'll talk about his double. He hit a double, bases clearing double that gave us 3 runs to give us a 5-0 lead in the third. It kind of put the game away until Chris had his little thing in the sixth. Eli, big game. It was nice to see, wasn't it, Ryan?
Yeah, it was. I always like the role player getting a little bit of shine time in the spotlight. And Eli White, like I said, he does whatever the team needs, right? He goes out there and gives up his body like you saw out in there in Los Angeles to make a catch that saved a game. When you need a big hit from an unlikely source, I'll say, he seems to come up for that. I mean, I'll tell you this. I didn't know his stats against Sean Manaea. I didn't know that he owned him, but Eli White's one of the guys you're just like, it's probably not going to go deep. If he gets a single, he gets on base, he does his job. But when you get that little home run from him, it's a nice little jolt for the offense because it's an unexpected source, and you always welcome that.
Now his double, we can put this in here. His double was on a pop-up that Taylor called Lindor off way too late. Lindor gives him ground, but by doing it so late, Taylor can't get to the ball and almost trips over Lindor. That's how I got the double. Real quick, and we're not picking on the Mets. This might be one of the worst fielding teams I've seen in MLB in a long time, Ryan. How about you?
They're definitely not making it look like they play Major League Baseball when they go out there. Juan Soto kicked the dang on ball all over the field like he was playing in the World Cup across the back in Atlanta down there in Mercedes Benz. That's how bad he was. There was 2 or 3 times he kicked the ball in the outfield. Not even kidding. Each game it seemed like he was out there kicking the ball. So wasn't just him. The first baseman, Mark Vientos, my goodness, he is horrible at first base. They have not done that kid justice in teaching him actually how his footwork from a first baseman. I have better footwork than he does, and I played first base in high school for a couple of years. I have better footwork than that. I could pick a ball better than Vientos right now. He is horrible at first base. Bichette's actually been surprisingly decent at third base. Lindor's good up the middle. But overall, man, their defense is not very good. And then you have the toad that is Francisco Alvarez behind the plate who can't even block a baseball when they need him to. I don't know, man. They got a lot to work on defensively for this team, in my opinion. So
I agree. Vientos might be the worst defensive first baseman I've ever seen. And that's a them problem, not a us problem. So we get in there. Mauricio hits a home run. Gets to the 6th run. Like I said, Chris gives up 3 runs and Dylan with a huge strikeout to strike out the side. Yaz hit the ball hard all series. He got so in luck. He had so many balls right at him. Even in the game 4, Benj made a great catch going down the line, preventing them a double. But he hit it where they can't field it. He hit it up in the chop house. And then your man, Austin Riley, hit a 3-run bomb into the corner right field. This is the reason why we think he's getting close. So Yaz and Riley starting to look like their swings coming together is going to be huge for us in the second half of this season.
Yeah, man, you've been saying it. We need one of the two guys, and Ronald or Riley, to really get going. If not both of them, when Ronald comes back, that is, we need one of them to get red hot. We need one of them to get on a stretch where they can carry the team. Because right now we need that one extra dude in the lineup to give protection to Baldwin, Olsen, Harris at the top. If you're able to slide in Riley right behind those guys, it lengthens the lineup. There's less holes in the lineup. You're able to get more RBIs because you're getting more guys on base. Riley has more chances to drive in runs, even though I know everybody hates him with runners scoring position. But if he's going well, there's not many more people that you want up in those situations. So it's really nice to see Riley finally, after I've been saying it since freaking April, he's starting to get his direction going to the big part of the field. He's not guessing as much. There were some times very clearly in this series that he was guessing. I will say he needs to just eliminate guessing for right now. Direction's getting better. Approach is getting better. Like he said earlier in the week, it's not 100% there yet, but he is heading in the right direction at long last.
Yeah, like I said, Yaz is getting right too. I know we were talking about the big one, but Yaz needs to be big and his swing looks good. So that's good. And then we'll add in here. This is where we can do our picks to click because they're back to back. Ryan told you exactly what Austin was going to do to get right, and he looks like he's getting there. He was 3 for 13, 3 walks, 1 hit by a pitch. So he was on base 7 out of the 17 times. We'll take that all day long. We want some more pop, of course, but he hit his pick to click. My pick to click, Michael. I even said a bunch of he had 1 home run. I forget about this one. He hits one off the catcher for 2 homers. He actually had 2 home runs. He was 9 for 20 in this series. Overall, both of them produced for us. So we get a huge win, 14-3. We go to Sunday. We feel pretty good. And I ain't lying. I feel so bad for Austin. He had to leave out of this game and feel like, okay, here we go. And they hit the first ball, a ground ball, right at him. Lindor hits a shot, and he missed it. He missed it. I played third base, and he'd tell you in 100th. And as long as it doesn't score, he probably gets over it. Well, the fact of the matter is, as we told you before, Lindor, Soto, and Bichette, there's the error. I feel bad for him. And Soto owned Perez. That was a test spot, too. They can't get through it, and they score a run. You talk to it. I mean, you're a hitter trying to get out of it. That's like the worst thing could happen, have a ball hit at you, and you do that the next day, isn't it?
Yeah, because you just finally started, like, you finally feel like you played a good game, right? You had a big hit, you had good at bats the entire night, maybe except one. You fielded your position really well. You're like, finally starting to head in the right direction. First, daggone play of the game, you make an error, and then it comes back and bites your team in the rear end. Yeah, it's it's like you take one step forward, 2.5 steps back. It's just kind of that thing right now with Austin. He's fighting himself every single day right now, and he's just going through a really tough time. But I will say this isn't what costed us this game, but again, you got to make that play because that's one less run that's on the board, and that might have altered some decisions that were made later in the game. We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, I just feel bad for him. He had that great moment, and that happens, and it just seems to what happened. The other thing that happens is that we come back in the bottom of the first, and we respond. I mean, Nolan McLean is their best pitcher, and he's off a little bit. Ryan texts me. I'm at the game. Ryan texts me because he's off. We hope we take advantage of this. He could not hit his sweeper for a strike. He could not throw it for a strike, so he had to rely on his other stuff. And we start hitting. We score 3 runs, have 2 people on, first and third, and Dom Smith comes up, and I think this is not what cost us the game, but it was deflating. He hits a ground ball at second for a double play. If we could have added on there, I think this game really goes different. We got to start having a serious question. We haven't brought it up on the pod yet. We do talk personally about it. This is a good spot for you, Ryan. We have a serious problem at DH, and Dom Smith has regressed, hasn't he?
Yeah, it's kind of like what we said earlier in the year, though, right? Like, Dom Smith's not going to do this all year. He's going to regress at some point. We're appreciating the contributions as they come along, but you can't rely on him. And we were hoping by that point, Ken, that your big guys, Ronald and Riley, were going to be going by that point, and one of them's on the shelf, and then the other one is just now thinking that he's finally starting to figure some things out at the plate. So, and you got Dom Smith hitting what, fifth, sixth in the lineup right now, and he should be a role player guy, right? He should be 7, 8, 9 down in that area. He would be a great 7, 8, 9 guy down there. And if Riley and Ronald are in the lineup and they're doing their thing, you can live with Dom Smith as a DH platoon, right? But right now, you just can't. And unfortunately, it's been costing us some outs right now. But I will say this, and this is the first time that I think I've said this in a very, very long time. I'd rather have Riley in that situation than Dom Smith. I think it's time for Walt to kind of bump Riley above Dom Smith right now, and both lefties and righties, just because his approach has been good consistently for about a week against both sides of the plate. But we do have a problem at DH. We do have, and we are in need of a bat. Me and you were discussing off the pod. We think we need a right-handed bat, and then we look at the bench and we're like, oh dang, we don't really have a left-handed hitter either. So we might be in the market for a couple of bats at the deadline. Maybe not the superstar bats, but at least some bats that we can put in the lineup versus lefties and righties that will give us really good quality at bats.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. We'll see how AA approaches it. It's going to be so they jump back at us and they score 4 runs. Martin just cannot land his changeup. Ewing gets a sinker out coming right at him. This ball was carrying in the ballpark, by the way. The wind was blowing out at the time when the game started. We won't even get into how the Braves, how Major League Baseball handled this start of this game. That's on them. So Martin gives up 4 runs, but then he settles down. And he actually is pitching well. He gets into the 5th inning, gets an easy first out, and then Juan Soto hits a 110-mile-an-hour line drive off of Martin's forearm. It's not broke. He is going to the IL. But even like they said on the broadcast tonight, that still doesn't mean there's not a break in there. They'll let everything settle down and do more imaging. It was a shot. Mark Bowman even talked about the stitches. You could see the stitches of the ball. And Tyler Kenley comes in and saves the day and keeps the game at 5-3. First of all, let's just talk about Martin and his injury. Another starter going down. We've been saying this for 3 years, Ryan. So what is your take?
It's a blow right now, right? We're already lacking pitching depth. I mean, look, we got guys coming back and heading in the right direction in the rehab, but they're not close yet right now, and we're already struggling to find some sort of consistency in the rotation. We think we're getting that with Raylo. We'll get into that in a little bit. We think we're getting it with Hurston Waldrop, but he's not quite there yet. And then after that, you had the one consistent, at least you knew Martin Perez was going to try to go out there and give you a quality start, 5, 6 innings, 3 to 4 and runs, even though he was outperforming that at a high clip this year, but you couldn't really bank on that being the fact that was going to happen the entire year. At some point, he was going to regress, and it looked like he was starting to a little bit before this injury, but either way, it's a blow to the team because you're missing that consistency. You're missing a starting pitcher going out there 5, 6 innings, saving that from the bullpen, and now we're going to have to throw a puppy dog in there right now, whether that is J.R. Ritchie, Owen Murphy, or Grant Holmes going back in there, or Bryce Elder coming in there, and we don't know what we're going to get from Bryce. So we got a lot of question marks right now in the rotation, and that just added to it.
Yeah, and we put out the state of the pitching. Make sure you check that out. Andrew jumped on with me, and we talked about it. Martin, when he even comes back, may not go to the starting rotation. We may have found our left-handers amongst the bunch of them because Danny Young comes in and pitches an inning and strikes out 2 batters. So we may not be in for a left-handed arm. We may have enough left-handed pitchers. That will help us go get bats with a big starter. So, again, this is AA brought it up, and we all get upset at AA, but he's right. A lot of things can change between now and trade deadlines. We'll see where the Braves go. So, Walt, let me go ahead and get this. So I'm at the ball game. I'm shocked at how many people at the ball game. I guess, I don't know, my friends, the writers, I guess they just try not to get into this kind of stuff. But when the bottom of the 7th started, Didier did get up because he had Didier and Iglesias. And if we would have scored, Didier was going to come in the 8th inning most likely. And they would have chased the win, but we didn't. So Carrasco comes in, He miraculously gets through the eighth inning, okay, because they hit peas all over the place, and Ozzie almost knocks him down, gets a double play, and Walt made the decision in the eighth. Nobody's up in the pen, but Didier has already thrown once; he can get up again. And but we don't do anything. We get a single. Austin gets a single, and then we just go 1, 2, 3. And Cookie comes in the ninth and gets absolutely hammered. 5 runs. I'm hoping it's the end of the Cookie Carrasco days for an Atlanta Brave. We can give him a world championship ring at a ceremony in November. What about you, Ron?
Yeah, he's providing you nothing, right? He's got no upside. At least J.R. Ritchie and Owen Murphy can do some development work in that role in the long relief role. Me and you talked about it a lot. Why is he on the team? It's not doing anybody any good. I know you want depth, but when your depth is Cookie Carrasco, who is absolutely costing you games, I think what he's costed us 3 games right now. You just can't have that in the bullpen. Look, and here's what I will say about this situation with Walt leaving Cookie in. Walt didn't really have a choice, right? The offense was pretty much dead after the first inning or two. They weren't having good at bats. They were consistently bad. So you are either going to take a shot and throw Didi and Iggy in that game when you're down 2 runs. They're going to have their proper warm-up time for Devin Williams, which, by the way, he's been really, really good in June and July so far. He's been pitching well. So you're probably not going to score 2 runs off of him, and we didn't score 2 runs off of him anyway. So you're probably still going to lose, and then you burn those 2 guys then. So this all kind of just stems back to AA not doing his job with the pitching staff and continuously leaving holes in the bullpen, and one of them being Cookie Carrasco, and that part needs to stop. So that is my thought on the whole debacle of what people were calling it in the ninth inning. I understand why Walt did it, but he shouldn't have been put in that situation to make that decision, if that makes sense to you, Ken.
We've been telling everybody, and we got tweeted that, and we've been telling everybody, well, listen to the podcast. We keep saying this is an AA issue. So we're going to move on from that to get to the bottom of it. And we fight. I love the way we fought. 10-3. We could have gave up on the game. Brazoban can't get nobody out. He can't get anybody out. He's throwing wild pitches. He's throwing to pick off runners at first. There's nobody at first. Ventos is standing out in the outfield. And then Drake comes up, hits a grand slam, and lo and behold, we're 10-8. And then they go get Devin, their closer. And he strikes out Ozzie. I thought the bat was okay from Ozzie. He threw him a really tough fastball up here after throwing changeups, and Ozzie just couldn't catch up to it. 97, that happens. Matt, he does the same pitch sequence to Matt, and Matt hits an absolute P for a double off the wall. I thought it was going to go out. Here it is right down the line. And then Michael gets up and hits a single. Now we're 10-9. Mauricio singles. Okay, he singles. And then Devin throws a changeup in the dirt, and we have runners on second and third, and all we need from Dom is a base hit. And Dom just, I don't know, like I said, we're not going to kill the guy. He's just a terrible at bat. He swings at a changeup in the dirt, and they end up getting out of the game. Here's the Michael hit, and we'll let Ryan talk through the end of it. We end up losing the game.
Yeah, great hustle out of the box there by Michael to beat that out. Horrible. And look, I know Devin's sitting there trying to find the base and everything, but there really wasn't much sense of urgency to find the base once he got the baseball, in my opinion. This is my opinion. Y'all might see it differently, but great hustle out of the box by Michael. Dubon had a big hit to set the thing up. I think we got runners first and second, and I think maybe a wild pitch or something happens, and then we get second and third. No, there you go. There's the bobble by Lindor. Yeah. Second and third, you got 2 outs. Dom Smith, if you want to go pitch by pitch, ball, fastball that he could have done a lot of damage on, that is in his honey hole, up and away. He takes it, strike 1. Next pitch, fastball, up out of the zone, swings and chases it for strike 2. I think he gets it to 3, or no, he gets it to 2-2. He fights one more pitch off, and then the changeup, that's not even freaking close. That's not even in the window that we talked about where you want the ball to start. You chase it, and then it ends. Look, I can't hammer Dom for that loss, right? It's a tough at-bat. He put a decent at-bat together, but you didn't stick to your approach, which kind of bothers me there. But all in all, I love the way they fought. I mean, they were down, 10-3 heading into the ninth inning. They scored 6 runs in the last inning. You can blame Walt. You can blame Dom. You can blame whoever you want. But at the end of the day, again, Alex put Walt in that situation to make that decision. Walt made the decision. And oh, by the way, if the offense shows any signs of life at all in the previous 4 or 5 innings, he's probably going to chase that game and he's going to use different pieces of the bullpen. He just is. Offense didn't give him anything to go with. He made the best decision that he could. It didn't work out. The Braves almost came back and won a game that they shouldn't have won, but that's just baseball. They played a great game. It was a heck of a way to come back. They just couldn't finish it off, unfortunately, Ken.
Yeah, this is a tough loss, and I think we've lost 5 games over this tough stretch since June because of being short in the bullpen, and that's on you, Alex. And we love you. I think he's one of the top GMs, and I think he'll get it fixed. He's trying. He did something I like this time. He brought up 2 long men to try to fix this in JR and Owen. So we get to the game. We get a chance to win the series. Raylo takes the mound, and Raylo's throwing the ball good. Raylo goes 5 innings. I think eventually they'll allow him to go further. I think having a 3-1 lead is the reason they pulled him. He had 5 strikeouts. Dieter comes in, and Dieter gets hit. He gives up 4 hits in 1 inning, but we play some of the best defense you've ever seen in your life. Dubon has a diving catch. We do a relay to throw Bichette at home, and to Ryan's point, it looks like Bichette may be a little hurt here. His legs are gone. And Jarvis, though, throws a P home. He has to be a perfect throw. He gets him. Dylan comes in. Dylan even walks a couple of batters, but he gets through his inning. Kenley comes in. By the way, Kenley and Fuentes have almost the exact same stats since June 1st out of the bullpen. I know you like one and don't, not Ryan, but fans like one, don't like the other one. Almost identical stats. I know because one's 21, one's 30-something journeyman pitcher. But let's lay off Tyler. He's giving us pretty good stuff. And then Rossiel comes in, and we finally got caught with Rossiel. And guys, we're all going to point to we should have walked Soto. We should not walk Soto there. That's going to put the winning run at second. And then if he bounces, he takes his changeup out of the arsenal. He bounces it up there. They tie the game anyhow. He's just got to throw better pitches to Soto. He can't do that. Soto hits a 3-run homer. And then the kid gets the pitch. We're just going to talk the pitching side real quick. Tough spot for the kid, but I think he'll learn so much. I like his demeanor. It's really the first time I've seen him pitch in a tough situation. I was not jumping on the bandwagon, making him the ace starter like a lot of people were, but I liked everything about him tonight, other than he's got to learn to pitch with 0-2 counts. And overall, pitching tonight, how'd you see it, Ryan?
Look, Owen's kind of what I thought he was, right? He's got the good fastball that's got the good ride through the zone because he's got elite induced vertical break. But as me and my partner discussed off air, 92, 93, even you could have 25-inch induced vertical break. Somebody in the big leagues is going to get on top of that fastball. It's only 92, 93 miles an hour. These guys are seeing 98, 99, 100, and up to 105 miles an hour. 92 is not going to phase them, so you're going to need other pitches. I don't think Owen quite has the feel yet for his secondary stuff to really make a really good starting pitcher right now. I think he can do fine as a long reliever right now, but I think he really needs to develop those other pitches with that good fastball he's got. Because when we watched him tonight, Ken, just personally, he heavily relied on his fastball. He didn't hardly throw any breaking stuff. But as soon as Luis Torrens showed that your 92 isn't anything for me and I can shoot that ball into right field, then he goes to the breaking ball. What's he do? Breaking ball hangs over the plate, bang into the corner. I'm not blaming Murphy. I'm just saying what he is. He's not the number 2, number 3 starter everybody thinks he is right now. Could he develop into that? And yes, a good comp for him would be Joe Ryan. If he develops his secondary stuff like Mr. Joe Ryan did, he could be a great starting pitcher. But that's a long ways away, and he's got a long ways to go. But all in all, I think there's a good bit of positives to take from his first outing. That's a really tough spot for him to come in and do what he did. But, that's why you pitch young puppies. I mean, they got to learn at some point, and the best way to do it is come up here and learn how to do it in the big leagues. So a lot to learn, but overall, I was fine with what I saw.
Yeah, I was okay. I think Owen's going to be a really good pitcher at this level. Let's just let him pitch and get to where he needs to get to. Him and Richie and Walter are all going to pitch in the major leagues for a long time. All right, so on the hitting side, Michael Harris had the best series of all of them. He had a big night again tonight. He had finished the series 9 for 20. Matt Olson hit 2 home runs, one in the bottom of the ninth to tie the game before. And that's why Owen got to pitch. Michael hits a big double in the bottom of the 10th to make it 7-6. We get runners on and have a chance to win the ball game. Bases loaded. We have Mauricio up. He's getting a little pull happy. He does that, and I think he'll fix it, but that wasn't the last at bat. Devin gives him, not Devin, it was Devin Williams maybe, gave him a 96-mile-an-hour fastball down the middle. He had an absolute P right at the shortstop to end the game. Again, we've already talked about the fight, but really good to see Matt getting the power back. He hit a lot of home runs this homestand, and that's going to be good going forward. And I think good things are coming. I know we wanted to win the series, Ryan, but I've never took a series where we lost. We lost a homestand. We went 3-4 on a homestand, but I feel way better coming out of this homestand than I did going into the homestand. How about yourself?
Yeah, I mean, the guys are showing some improvement, right? They're showing that they're starting to hit with runners in scoring position a little bit. Look, we left a lot of guys on base in the last game of the series. There's no doubt about that. That cannot happen. But overall, runner scoring position is gradually getting better. We're scoring more runs consistently. We're putting my biggest key was better at bats. Consistently put better at bats together. That is happening, even though we don't kind of string it along for long innings. That's the next key. Get it over a whole 9-inning game consistently. Once they start doing that, they're going to start picking right back up where they were in April and May. I have no doubt about that. Jarvis coming up, I will say he looks really good defensively. I like that. He's not the starting shortstop, though. Unfortunately, I think many hoped he would be, but he is better than what we've had. All in all, again, good signs. Bullpen had a little bit of a hiccup, unfortunately, with Iglesias. He needs to clean up the 9th inning. He's got to stop giving up so many hits and so many walks. He's got to really dial that back in, which I know he will. So, again, good signs, but still some improvement to be had.
Yeah, so we go split the series. I'm with him. I think Jim Jarvis is going to have a long career. I think everything about him says utility infielder, and he'll stay in the major leagues a long time. So that's good for Jim. He looks like a really good young kid. Right, so play of the series. Let's go play of the series first. What was your play of the series?
I'm going to go, and this had no impact on winning at all, but I think it may show really good impact for second half of the season for this guy, and it's going to be the Austin Riley 3-run homer into the chop house. I think him just staying on that ball, it's got to feel good for him knowing that, hey, I'm starting to stay back on the ball. I'm starting to drive it. And I think it was either a cutter or a slider that he got that he drove into the chop house as well that he's really been struggling with. So that was my key to the series. I know it's not one that was like, oh my God, that wasn't a key to the series, but it's a key for me because it's a key to get him going so we can have the season that we want to have. If we don't have that dude going, we're not going to go to where we want to go.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't think there was a play of the series that won the series one way or the other, but I think you can have key to the series. And I'll go to the pitching side. I think Martin getting line drive is going to be interesting because now AA really has to look at these young kids inside what he's got. And when I mean young kids, I'm older, so I always think a lot of them are kids other than Chris Sale. I'm even talking, what has he got out of Holmes? What's he got out of Elder? What's he got out of Lopez? He's got like 6 or 7 options. And A.J. Smith-Shawver's coming. This is where we're going to throw it in. He threw 100 miles an hour Sunday, and he had 45 pitches, 33 strikes. I watched his stat, and I told his dad, it's awesome. He is awesome. Well, I told Jason to tell his dad, Jason Reese, but I told him, I said, he was awesome. I think he'll be back by the end of August. I think Martin's injury and now being out is going to have Alex really, and I wouldn't be surprised if we're not the first team to pull the trigger to go get a starting pitcher. I don't know anything. That's coach talking. So what was the MVP of the series, Ryan?
Michael Harris. Michael Harris II was the MVP of the series. I mean, he had his fingerprints all over the series from the first inning, game one catch in center field that saved Grant Holmes' rear end. You better buy Michael a nice steak or Rolex or something for saving your rear end in that game because he also saved the game for us. So, Michael Harris is my MVP, Ken.
Yeah, Money Mike. Money Mike was the best player in the series, even for both teams. And Bo Bichette had a big series for them, and Juan Soto did too. Um, Juan Soto is one of the best hitters in baseball. That's undeniable. So, all right. So we move on to the Pirate series. We got all kind of stuff coming with the Pirate series. You got the hip coil today. We're going to talk about their great pitching matchups. We have Paul Skeens, their top three in their eyes. We think there's two guys going to supplant their veteran here eventually because they both have good arms. Jared Jones and Mitch Keller is that veteran. Look for Keller or Jones maybe to get traded if the Pirates fall out of this. That'd be the two pitchers. I don't think they're going to move on from Skeens yet, but I think those two, because I think they think Ashcraft and Chandler can be into the 2 and 3 mix. So we'll see. We're going to go with Waldrop. Nervous for the kid. I don't want him to be too pumped up. Don't be too pumped up, Hurston. Don't try to beat Paul Skeens. Just go beat the Pirates. Great hitting lineup. Holmes and Elder, hopefully. We're hoping for Bryce on Thursdays healthy. What are your initial thoughts of the Pirate series?
I said this on the hip coil, so I'll go ahead and say this. I feel like I don't have a feel for this series. And what I mean by that is either game, you could look at it. Okay, Skeens has been really struggling. His fastball velocity is down. Can he make the adjustments to get back? I don't know. I think he can. Does he? Mm-hmm. Can Hurston Waldrop go through the Pirates lineup and be effective? I don't know. Can he? Sure. Can he not? Absolutely. He might get smoked. The Pirates can freaking hit the baseball. Then you go to game 2, Grant Holmes. I don't need to say anything about Grant Holmes that y'all don't already know about him. That's a wild card every time he goes out there on the mound. Jared Jones. He's coming off an injury. He's had a couple starts where he's given up 5 earned runs. Does he give up 5 earned runs, or does he pitch 5 innings and give up no runs? I don't know. He could do either one. Then you go to game 3 when you got Mitch Keller and we got Bryce Elder. Well, what's Bryce going to look like? Well, we have no idea. Don't know what his sinker's going to do. Don't know what his cutter's going to do. We don't know how his arm's feeling. We have no clue. Mitch Keller hates the Braves because the Braves beat the piss out of him. But again, even if the Braves are beating the piss out of him 7-0, and then Bryce Elder comes back and gives up 6, who wins the game? I don't know. Could go either way. So again, I don't have a daggone feel for this series, buddy.
Yeah, it's interesting. Before we get his prediction, the Pirates hitting only have 2 guys under league OPS. That's how good a hitting team they get. So that makes me scared for our starting pitching. Their starters, these 3 of the 3 that's been struggling. The other 2 kids have not struggled. They have been in shootouts. They've been shooting. They had to play the Nationals. God, the night the Nationals had a 12-11 game. They play every game like it's an adult league softball game, the Nationals do. So if you play them, and we've ran into that too, you run out of that series, your bullpen is taxed. So the bullpen is taxed. Well, Braves bullpen is taxed. And both teams are hitting. So what I'm saying is, before we get to prediction, me and Ryan don't gamble. We don't bet like this. But if you do a little bit of the gambling, man, take the over in these games. I think take the over. So before we get, that's my coach's thing. Take the over. Ryan, what's your prediction on the series?
I don't know. That could go either. I'm gonna say we figure it out and we win. We figure out how to win 2 out of 3 in the series. Ken, I'm gonna be optimistic. I think we get a little bit of momentum rolling into St. Louis right before the break. Hopefully, we win 2 out of 3. They're playing much better. They're hitting the baseball much better, which, God, that couldn't have come at a better time. So hopefully Waldrop can shove. Hopefully we just beat the piss out of Mitch Keller so bad that Bryce Elder can't screw it up, and neither can our bullpen. So that's what I'm hoping for, Ken. What you got?
I think in a series that looks even on paper, you got to find something that gives the team the edge, and that thing is we play really good defense. Pirates, not so much. They have some players that really play good defense, but they got a lot of guys who don't play good defense. That'll give us a slight edge, so I'm going to take 2 out of 3, but I'm like you. I don't know. So we'll see. Pick to click. Who's going to help us win the series?
Well, Ken, I'm going to do it again. I nailed it last time. Austin Riley. He's going to come in. He's going to do a little bit more of what he did this series. He's going to go 4 for 12, 4 for 14, whatever. He's going to have one big knock that's going to drive him some runs. He's going to walk. He's going to keep that approach. He's going to have his direction going to the big part of the field. He's going to do that with consistency this series, not just here and there, not just 1 or 2 at-bats a night. I'm saying 3 to 4 at-bats every single night. You're going to have that good approach. You're going to really start locking in your direction to right center field. And I think you're going to have that one big hit that might be the deciding factor in us winning this series or not, Ken. That is my pick to click, and boy, do we need him to start clicking.
I hope he does. And I've been on fire. I'll tell you, of course, I stole twice. I stole Ryan Sky, so technically we've both been on fire. But I've hit 4 in a row, so hopefully I hit 5 in a row. And I'm going to go Drake Baldwin this time. Drake actually had a couple hits tonight, and I like the fact that he's hitting everything almost oppo right now, and that's when Drake is good. So I'll go Drake Baldwin. So that's what we got for you guys. Hopefully we have a winning series. One of my friends put out to me, we know y'all have to tell us all the stat. We know it's bad. We don't mind being your sounding boards, but it can be a little hard on us sometimes. But we're 1-6-1 in the last 8 series. We know it. We got it. And but that doesn't mean we can't go 6-1-1 in the next 8. So that's the way baseball works. So we'll get out of here. What's your final thought of the night, Ryan?
My final thought. So let's go win the Daggum series in Pittsburgh, for the love of God. Let's go win a series. Let's have a winning road trip, and let's have some nice momentum rolling in to the All-Star break. And that is my final thought. I gave you my real final thought over at Brave Sip Cool, so you're going to have to tune that to check that out. Ken's going to give you his real final thought here on the podcast. So here you go, Ken.
Yeah, I shared like Ryan did about the series, but my final thought is this. Guys, we lost a real trooper, one of my favorite, all of y'all's favorite, on Twitter, Megan at 3x5. She finally succumbed to stage 4 cancer. And I had to tell one of my friends going through a tough spot with his life is whenever we're fussing about the Braves, and look, be fans all you want to. I mean, do what you got to do. But take a minute and look at your family and look at your lives and realize it's probably not the most important thing whether Rossiel closed this game out tonight. And Megan was always good at that. Megan always kept positive, not over the top. She called it the way it was. She tells us when we were bad. And it's just a hard loss. And our prayers are with her family, all of her friends, all the people on Twitter she touched. And like Ryan said on the hip call, she's resting in peace now, not have to suffer through that brain cancer anymore. She's got a healthy mind now and a healthy body. So our thoughts and prayers are with her family. And Megan, we know you're looking down, and we miss you. And like Ryan said on the hip call, dadgummit Braves, let's go win a 2026 World Series for Megan because she deserved it. So that's my final thought. Let's get out of here. We love you, Braves country. And as always, peace.
You know what, boys? You guys are going to be world champions for the rest of your life.